What's up guys, welcome back to episode 10 of me designing more fakemon for my Australian-based fakemon region, aka Project Dreamtime. Today, I'll be making some more regional variants along with a redesigned starter at the end. Be sure to like and subscribe, let's get right into it. Starting off, let's begin the video with probably my favorite Aussian form yet. This might either be a beloved or hated trend, but I personally love how many forms Meowth has. It has a lowland form, Galarian form, Gigantamax form. Honestly, they should have given this dude a Mega already, you know? Now, for the Fakemon region of Australia, you'd assume that there would be some sort of wild cat, right? Correctamundo, my friend. There's a deadly species of cat that were brought over from like a shipment to Australia many years ago, and have since then grown to the size of a human, if not bigger, while also picking up many deadly diseases that harm most of the wildlife in this part of the world. This massive overpopulation of felines has not only affected how Australians view cats, but also how the environment reacts to them. Because of this well-known rabid cat, I thought that it would be the perfect opportunity to make a regional poison-type Meowth. I turned the charm into a gas mask shape because why the heck not? I also made the claws a lot thinner and less chaotic to look almost like needles that could maybe even inject this deadly disease. I gave it a smirky look, basically as if he was saying, I know something you don't. Or as if he is waiting for that pun to sink in, but you don't fully understand his crappy joke. Of course, I made it a lot fluffier and matted because if this is supposed to be a wild rabid cat, it's gotta be a little bit fluffy, right? I just love Meowth so much, so the idea of me getting to make my own addition to the little trio of catmen just seems way too good to pass up. If this were ever to be a real game, I imagine this form of Meowth to be about as common as a lowland Meowth is in Alola, just a ton of them in different places around the map, and like in Australia, how there's normal house cats with wild cats in more rural or wild areas, I imagine Cantonian, Alolan, and even Galarian Meowth to be found in places around the map. Not as common as Aussian forms though, but you get the point. Meowth, Aussian form, the invasive cat Pokemon. Aussian Meowth are considered an invasive species as they stowed away on a large shipment to Ausseos. After many decades, they adapted to fit the diverse climates of the region, gaining poisonous claws, and their iconic charm is now a golden gas mask to breathe in the most toxic areas. Their fluffy tail can hold up to 5 pounds of poisonous gas and will be released if it feels threatened. Now, when thinking about which route I could go for the evolution, there's an abundance of possibilities. I could either 1. Go for a regional Persian, 2. Make a regional Berserker, or do my own completely unique thing. At first, I tried a regional Persian. This was way back in November, but it just didn't go the way I wanted, so I thought about making a regional Berserker, but then I realized if I were to do my own thing, it could be bipedal, quadrupedal, or whatever, but I could change literally everything about it that I don't like about the other two evolutions. So I started sketching with a bipedal menacing feline in mind. I went with a very humanoid approach because I want this thing to be super humanoid, and I wanted it to be the evolution that Meowth should have gotten. Something that takes all of Meowth's fun details and unique design aspects and just crank them up to the max. I added not only more fur, but also some unique patterns along with what looks to be a snake wrapped around its neck and arms. Now, the snake isn't based off any specific Pokemon, I just like the idea of the cat having more deadly poison than the snake. By the way, these wild cats are deadly enough to kill snakes, just look it up, there's literally videos about it. I added 2 scorpion tails, not only as a nod to the poison typing, duh, but also because it kind of fits this one Japanese yokai called the Nekomata, a cat said to have 2 tails. A bit random, but totally something Pokemon would do. I mean, they are a Japanese company and love putting Japanese lore into American, British, Spanish, and even Hawaiian designs. I was kind of going for that mafia boss look, and I think I accomplished everything I wanted to with this design, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it as much as I do. Toximiao, the invasive cat Pokemon. Only in Ausseos can a Meowth evolve into the menacing Pokemon known as Toximiao. Toximiao are fast and cunning, able to sense danger from miles away. In combat, it uses its 2 deadly tails to strike its opponents. only after leaving them on the ground, barely able to move. Now time for another early gen regional form. Numel is one of those Pokemon where you don't really think about it much, but when I do think about it, it always feels a little lackluster. Don't get me wrong, a cute, plush-looking camel is awesome and something that we don't really have besides Numel, but just needs more. After looking for ideas on what I could do to make Numel better, more interesting, I thought of geysers. You see, geysers are one of the coolest ways water interacts with the surface, and not only is it jetting through the ground with impressive speed and force, but it also scorches everything it touches. This seems way too cool, or I guess a little too hot, to pass up. Numel, Aussean form, the geyser Pokemon. Numel and Ausseos can store water in their rock-like hump. The water can be heated up so much that it often bursts out of the geyser-like hump. Numel often stay in humid, wet areas, but can go without water for a little over a week. Now, let's talk about Camerupt. This is not a camel, this is a hippo! Okay, so just look at this fat ass and tell me that this is a camel. This is not a camel! So, as you can probably tell, I really despise Camerupt. And it might just be due to the lazy design and how its mega is just the lazy design but squished into a pancake. But let's just give this Numel some love, not only with the regional form, but with the new evolution. I started with much more camel-esque proportions and crazier patterns on the body with a very relaxed expression. After all, whenever you get out of a hot bath or the sauna, you feel relaxed and calmed. So if you're always in a steamy area with hot water on your back 24/7, you'd probably be calm all of the time. Geyzomel, the geyser Pokemon. Geyzomel are often used as transportation across the humid, geyser-filled wetlands of Ausseos. It can store water in its hump and release it as scalding hot water. Its fur is thick enough to not get burned by the heat, but also light enough to not get too hot in the areas it calls home. Bewear has personally always seemed like a cute and fun design, making a stuffed animal into a monstrous bear panda thing that can literally crush anything with a hug. It's a really cute idea. So, let's tweak it a bit. You see, Tasmania is quite the unique place, not only known by most as the cleanest air destination in the world, but also known for its diverse population of creatures. Now, what animal do you guys think of when I say Tasmania? That's right, the Tasmanian devil. So in my region, I imagine Tasmania to be its own island late game. Yes, Tasmania is a part of Australia. So anyways, in my region, I imagine the late game island of Tasmania to be filled with strange Pokemon. Pokemon that are much more aggressive due to a certain protective legendary. So if I say, I don't know, Bewear moved to this climate, a Pokemon that was already easily ticked off, that would be moved to a location where everything is survival of the fittest, it would probably have to adapt. No? This was surprisingly harder than it looked. You see, Bewear's head shape was very difficult to get right, and I got it in the end, but I made it look a lot less plushy and more alive than the original. So I kind of tweaked the concept, and I gave it much more of a menacing pose, something not as dull and cute as the other. I added some thin white markings on the face and arms and overall just body in general, just to make it look a bit more detailed than its Alolan form, accompanied by some darker patterns with a little brown tail as a nod to its inspirations. Bewear, Aussean form, the strong arm Pokemon. Bewear and Ausseos are much more aggressive than their Alolan counterparts. While Bewear and Alola keep to themselves, yet care for others, Bewear and Ausseos will go wild, searching for battle with anyone willing to fight. Its strong arms can deliver a mean blow to the stomach. Alright, time for our last fakemon of the day. Now, before I get a bunch of pitchforks and AK-47s at my doorstep, this was only because I saw way more potential in the design, okay? I reworked the fire starter again. Wait! Just the final stage, okay? This was purely necessary for the benefit of my region. The original problems I had with this guy in the first place were, 1, the head was true draconic. This is a snake, not a draconic serpent. 2, the pose was off. Now, I know it's just a snake, but the weight of that tail weapon at the end should be weighing the end of the tail down, not make it float up for no reason. And 3, I just want a new rendering. Okay, so I started with a much more menacing pose and sketched the face to be much more snake-like, with the fangs having a much more refined shape and the charcoal crown being much sleeker and more refined. I shaped the eyes to look truly evil because it's a dark type, guys. The patterns on the body didn't really change that much, but I did add a little evil smiley face on the chest as a nod to the dark type move known as Mean Look. I also let the dude's tongue be free because, did you know that snakes need these things, meaning tongues, to breathe and smell? So I'm not letting this beautiful beast suffocate. All things considered, this is absolute cinema right here, guys. Blazorial, the fire serpent Pokemon. And with that, the new batch of Fakemon is finally done. Let me know which one of these was your favorite, and please don't show up at my doorstep with a bunch of pitchforks, please. Okay, as always, have an amazing day. Rex out. Peace.